we'll get into the games in because every people do tune in. They'll be wanting to watch that and they'll listen to a rabbit on. I hope that's the right one.
Everyone want to see how they're doing.
So we have
I mean,
Division
you know,
1.
there's going to be some 3-0s, Johnny. There's going to be some 0-3s. There's going to, again, it's only week 3. I wouldn't panic if I'm 0-3, and if I'm 3-0, I'm happy. I've had a great start, but you're 1 week away from a downer, so it's can't take the foot off the gas.
No, I don't see this as a better screen. That's not making a difference. Yeah, so we'll start here. We've got the Glasgow Eagles now 2-1, 176.09 to 188.13. Leeds Lasso's now 3-0. The Whatnot Warriors 239.17 against the Leicester Tigers 190.93. Ancoats Citizens 230.97 against the formerly 2-0 EK Colts 139.9, so that's one of them gone. Alaskan Deep Freeze 194.76 up against the Carlton Crew 233.21. Our defending champion get off the mark 211.53 Double Apron Blues against the Whitworth Rockstars, who were also 2-0 198.11. The Manchester Bees 172.59 up against the Seattle Patriots, who obviously had one game taken back, but they should be safe this week with 200 points and 11. So they got their first win of the season. So we've got
Yeah,
two 3-0 teams here.
2-3-0 teams, Leeds Lassos and the Carlton Crew. Two names that were right up there last. Well, I mean, all of these names were up there last season, weren't they? Because it's Division 1. This is so. All of the teams in this league were at the top of their leagues last year. But yeah, 2-3-0 is going to be absolutely cheesing. There's only 3 2-1s. So there's only five of the 5 teams on positive.
And bear in mind, those
Markets.
3 were all 2-0. They all lost this week. So
Yeah,
it
and
must be
it's
5-3.
the own
Jeez, look at
threes,
that.
the own threes are only they're only 3 games back, and they're only 2 games back from the playoffs. So they're only 1 game
Yeah.
back from the playoff. So you even at 0-3, you're only 1 game off the playoffs, and there is only one 0-3. It's Leicester Tigers. Oh, that's a shame. What's the form there?
I know they were a high scoring team last year. They've just not had much joy so far this year,
Yeah,
but
just
let's
I
see
mean,
where they are.
the draft for this league would have been difficult as well. It's all of these teams were top of the league last year for a reason. Top end of the league for a reason. So the
Yeah.
draft would have been hard as well and gone through. Let's go and see. Is it Leicester Tigers that are 0-3?
Leicester
Yeah,
Tigers, Benjamin.
and I
They
mean, they've
still scored
scored
190
190
points, but
points.
they've been
190
beating me.
points wins you games. So let's see where it's kind of. I mean, Mahomes, tick. Charbonnet, tick. Taylor, tick.
Taylor
There
or
you go. It's the
Ridley
Calvin Ridley effect. I'm struggling
and
with the
Evans.
Calvin Ridley effect. And Mike
Yeah, I
Evans
think he
as
got
well. It's
me.
one of those, there's going to be good weeks and there's going to be bad weeks. That's what happens when you've got an average quarterback thrown at you. And for Ridley, it's a bad quarterback thrown at him. So, they are
Yeah,
going to
he had
have
a
good
freak
weeks.
game
And
week
I've got
2.
Ridley everywhere.
Yeah, and Josh Downs, was that his first game
I've got,
back? Josh Downs,
must have
he
been,
was off.
because
Yeah,
it's been all Pierce, hasn't it? So, yeah, that must be his
Hayden,
first game back.
Cooper, Singletary, Tucker only get 3 points. That's crazy. He missed a field goal. That's 2 he's missed this season. Well, CJ Mosley,
Listen,
that was quite a late. He had a player out on Friday night,
oh, so he did, yeah.
and
Missed
Max
it and
Crosby
then
only gets
Crosby
6
didn't do
points.
much.
That's not going to happen very
Well,
often.
do you know what the thing about
Yeah,
Justin Tucker is? He used to be the only kicker in the NFL who could kick over 60-yard field goal. He's now the only kicker in the NFL who can't score an over 60-yard field goal. So
I know.
it's very much flipped for him.
I
But I
suppose
mean,
he has
it's
been
not a bad team.
he's been a number one kicker for so long. You can't imagine he's going to have to miss eventually. But yeah, what's his bench like anyway? So,
I
well,
mean,
he's got
it's
Murray
not.
and Levis.
Well, there
They
you go.
miss
There's
AJ
a
Brown.
problem. Couple of quarterbacks on the bench, and I'm never a fan of that. It's a wasted
But
spot, which means that there's spots not taken. And then 3 tight end. Oh no, Dots wide receiver. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, missing AJ Brown, he's straight back in as soon as he's fit, and he's not on IR or
even
anything,
a
so you'd
Joku,
expect Brown back sooner
no,
rather than later. And they'll
and obviously
probably need
missing
Brown
a
back
Joku
this
as
week
well.
because I cannot see
You
Smith
want
making it
Smith?
this week after the hit he took. I mean, that was a bad one. That
Well,
was a big hit he took.
Yeah, that was a. Yeah, that was a. It was the boys. Is the boy going to get fined for that? Surely it looked pretty bad.
Yeah, I
Like
don't know. Was a flag even thrown?
no, but
I
sometimes they
don't
get
even think.
done after the fact. Like, but
Yeah,
it was looked at.
retroactively.
Yeah,
It,
so
it was a big hit. You could see. I mean, so that I'd be surprised if he's playing this, if Smith's playing this week. So they'll maybe get Brown. So good news for Leicester Tigers here that at least
but
he
then
might be getting
obviously
Brown back this week.
what are
It's
Orkney
not a
Warriors
bad
getting their
team. There's
first
no need,
win as well. But
no
yeah,
need
it's
to
not. It's a
panic.
good
And
team.
here's
It
what
just what are Orkney
I mean,
Warriors?
what Orton Warriors has got off the mark here with 200 points. And if you look at the first three names there, Mayfield didn't do a whole lot in the grand scheme. Neither did Dobbins, neither did Jacobs. So there's
Neither
neither
did
did
Lamb.
Lamb. So there's good things coming. Joanne Jennings is coming. I'm telling you, Joanne
Oh
Jennings.
yeah,
There you go.
Drake London,
There you go.
Drake London, Ron
Is
Jennings,
that
Cole
nine?
Komet, 39,
Is that nine? What? How many points is that for
51
Jennings?
point,
51. 51. I thought I said
51.25.
91 for a second there. Yeah, that's
You can
going to
see in the
be
points here.
and Cole Komet bounced from nowhere again as well. I benched him and show me the money, Johnny. Thank goodness it didn't matter. I would have been kicking
Yeah, Zach
myself
Moss.
forevermore.
But I came up against fucking Josh. Let's throw multiple touchdowns. Fucking Allen last night.
Yeah, he
I needed
finally
him from the
turned up.
week before,
It's
but
about
yeah, but
it's
he
about
wasn't going
time
to have
he
two
showed
bad
up for
weeks
the
in a row.
season.
Yeah, yeah. Zach Moss, 27
But,
points.
yeah,
Theo
so I mean,
Franklin, 26 points. Singleton, 18 points. Yeah,
only 1 and 3, 1 and 2. And this has been the first win that team was on to. See, once those top four,
yeah,
and this is just a week. It's Mayfield will have great weeks. Dobbins, well, he'll have good and bad, but Jacobs will be a lot better than that 90% of the time, as will Lamb. So
yeah.
if these guys down below can keep scoring the way they are, and Jennings will keep scoring as long as Samuel's out. Even if
Well,
Kittle comes
he's on the
back,
bench anyway.
Jennings will keep scoring, even until
Well, yeah,
CMC
Scott.
comes back, because Mason doesn't catch. Mason's not a catching back. They're not throwing the ball to him. He's rushing the ball. So
Yeah,
I
he's just
think Jennings
pummeling through
is,
the middle. Yeah,
yeah. So I do think Jennings is a very startable player, even when Samuel comes back. I've got to say. So yeah, I'd be over the moon if I was the Rotten Warriors here, and not just because I've got my
yeah.
first win, but I'd be very, very happy with my team.
Well, Lamb always does well against the Giants, so he's playing on Friday night. So he's going to get off to a flyer on Thursday night. Unfortunately, hopefully not, but he does seem to have good games against the Giants. They've got EK Colts, who won the Magnus division last year, up against the Ancoat Citizens, 230 points. EK Colts had a high score last week, I think, but only 139 this week. So
Stroud's
CJ
a
Stroud
problem for me.
underperformed.
Stroud's a big problem for me. And don't get me wrong, 16 points isn't bad for him, it's not terrible, but I think that's what you're going to get out of him week in, week out.
Yeah,
I'm worried that Stroud, and it's not going to be regression as much as it's going to be just, you can't, it couldn't be the same as he was last year, it just wasn't ever going to happen.
no,
So,
and like you said, it's
he's not going to
yeah,
win
no,
you many
well,
games,
unfortunately,
Stroud,
it's my
this season is
quarterback
the
too.
thing.
No,
He'll not lose
but
you many
Najee
games. And
Harris got
I'll tell you
19
another one I'd
points.
be worried about.
Garrett
The other one
Wilson.
I'm worried about is Garrett Wilson. Rodgers always
Yeah,
shares the ball. I know that Adams got the ball a lot in Green Bay. He did, but so did a lot of other people. And Rodgers isn't the same quarterback anymore. That ball is going to get spread about in New York. And Garrett Wilson does not seem, for where you had to draft him. I mean, second round at the very
yeah.
latest, you're drafting Garrett Wilson. I'd be quite worried if I was sitting on Wilson from a second round right now too. And
It was
obviously, Deontay
like
Smith's out. So
I watched some of the game, and some of the passes that he would throw, like Wilson just had to turn around and come back for them. But he wasn't, the timing was out. So it might come out later on, like, but he's got Lazard. You know how much he loves Lazard.
correct, and he's got
So
he's gone for Conklin now, and once Rodgers gets one day a good tight end that's catching the ball, he goes there a lot. Uh,
yeah,
he's going to both running backs are getting catches, and so there are other options in that team for him to throw to. So yeah, I mean, Wilson will have some big weeks, and I mean, 16 points again. It's not bad. He had a good week, but that was because of the touchdown. It's touchdown dependent, that.
Yeah, and a couple of first downs. But yeah, obviously they lost Smith. Jalen Reed will have more games. Johnny Smith will probably get more now that half the Miami team's figured.
Well, yeah, you would
Nothing out
think
of Don
so.
Mitchell. It must be bad if you played Mitchell. So
That's Quentin Johnson. Are you now thinking, is Quentin Johnson a proper viable start week in, week out now? It's
well, it
not for
depends who
me.
the
I don't
quarterback
think.
is.
Well, there's a big
If
that's a big thing on it, but
if Herbert's the
it's
quarterback, Herbert likes him in the end zone. But Heineke, no. Was it
I just
Heineke?
think he's got.
Yeah.
Was it Heineke that? Well,
Was it
I
Heineke?
know it was Heineke. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because
Yeah.
the other boy, what's it, Stick? He didn't. It wasn't him that came on. That's how I was
Easton
expecting
Stick,
it to
yeah.
be.
But then in fairness, it was against the Pittsburgh defence. So Heineke
It
just got
was. It was. And
clobbered them. But
they've proven it once again. They're the real deal. In the first 3 weeks of the season, they've been absolutely solid. Mitchell's kind of
Dick of the
lost
kicker's not
any
done much.
hold for me until Richardson starts showing that he can be more accurate. There's just too many
It's just
receivers
no.
there for Mitchell to be an anything for me right now. But yeah, I mean, look at all the outs that he had there. He's got Kittle out,
Yeah, he basically
Valley
picked
out.
the only team he could, apart from Purdy.
Yeah,
But,
and Blake Corum
but it wouldn't have
zero.
made a difference. Yeah.
That's not a good sign when they're missing so many of their wide receivers. It just goes to show the confidence that McVay must have in Kieran Williams at the moment.
Mhm.
But
And
yeah, I
then the
mean, I
other
would be
side,
quite worried. I would be quite worried if I was EK Colts. It is 2-0, but he's just got quite a lot of injuries flowing through there now,
yeah,
and he'll be hoping he gets more of them back quicker rather than later. He's going to need a few of them back.
yeah. I've got Citizens 230 though for the first win. So you got obviously Josh Allen, 46 points.
Uh,
Rashad
He's
White
finally
did
turned
bugger
up,
all.
hasn't
He's
he?
still got 13 points. Pollard did nothing this week, 8 points. But you got Shakir, 22 points. Tank Dell, 15.95. Roma Dunze, that was a bit of a mental game, 27.5. Jake Ferguson back in the lineup, that's always a good one, 23.7.
Yeah,
He had
97
Alan
yards
Lazard,
as well, or
15
something like
points.
that.
Yeah, 95 yards, 6 out of 11. Steele, 13 points. He got 11 points off the kicker, 7 off Fred Warner, which he'll usually get more than that. And Ernest Jones, 25.5 up against Green Bay. So, yeah, it was
Yeah,
pretty.
I mean, it was.
Apart from the running backs, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's all and see with Ferguson coming back's massive for him there, and it's not even the 95 yards, it's not even the 5 catches, it's the 11 targets. He
Yeah.
is being targeted, actively targeted. He's probably getting targeted second most in the team behind Lamb. So you got to be delighted with that. And when
And it's a
you've
good
got the
end
likes
zone
of Chris
target as well.
Sutton sitting there on the bench, he's get
Yeah.
Walker to come back.
McCaffrey.
Done well to hold off putting Perina in. That was a good decision, obviously, although the rest of the running
Yeah.
backs didn't do too well. But yeah, a very solid team off the mark now. So a good place to be.
Yeah.
And getting players
Obviously,
back
the
from
other.
injury as opposed to losing them to injury. And that's the thing. It was just such a wonky donkey week this week that you don't know if that's kind of going to be the norm or if it was just an anomaly. But we're looking through the tight ends, and you've got like some Bowers didn't do a whole lot. Laporta done nothing and then got hurt. Andrews didn't touch the ball. Kelsey's got about 30 yards again for the third week in a row. So these guys are doing nothing, but then the guys that were just underneath them in the draft, your Fergusons, your commit, they're starting to show up. Goddard's showing up, you know. So
Well,
that's a
I've,
massive
I've,
thing in
I've always
terms of
liked Goddard, but I had him for a couple of leagues, but he can't stay fit. But like next week, he'll probably score
the
5 points.
top guys. Are the top end's going
Obviously,
to show up is the big thing. And
yeah.
this is the defending
Well,
champions getting off the mark then, the
yeah.
Dublin Everton Blues.
211 points. Obviously, Jackson, Henry, so the nice Baltimore, near 70 points between them.
Running combo.
You had Stevenson, minus 10. Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
You
that
got to
was
be worried
solid.
about Tyreek Hill with that quarterback because They were awful.
You have to be worried about Pittman as well. I'm not being funny, but
Yeah,
Hill and Pittman, two very, very, very talented wide receivers, two of the more talented wide receivers in the league, but in such bad situations at the moment that it's hard
yeah.
to see the production coming over the coming, kind of next few weeks anyway. It's maybe back end of the season they'll start finding, Richardson will start getting a bit better, Tua back in, etc., makes a big difference. But at this moment in
Did you see
time,
that?
it's going to be tough to
Did you
win
see
games.
the interception he threw in the end zone? Richardson. There was 4
Yeah.
defenders around
Well,
one receiver, and he couldn't run for the first time. And he just like chucked it like that, and it's straight to a fucking Chicago player. It's like, what the hell is he
was there even
doing?
a receiver? I did
There
not
was
see
one.
even
There
see
was
the receiver. I thought it was
he was sort of stuck in the middle of 4 players.
that's well.
It's
I
just
kind
like
of thought it was a defensive back meeting, and they just kind of the ball showed up because that's that's what it looked like to me.
it
But
was.
yeah,
It
I
was.
mean,
Oh, it was. He couldn't run.
well,
That was it. He only had like 5 yards to go. He could have just fallen on the ground. But that was just, yeah,
I'm
no.
sure we'll I'm
That,
sure we'll
that
get
made
to a
Daniel
team that's
Jones look
got
good. That throw.
Richardson in it. But yeah,
Yeah,
that wasn't good. There you go,
he shot
Dallas
the two.
Goddard there though.
Yeah,
Robinson will do
DJ
fine.
Moore still getting
Brian
19
Robinson.
points. There's the defense.
So I
Bobby
mean,
Wagner 16 points, and Alshair 23. So
just wide receivers there
both of
for
them
me.
nailed the
The
defense.
Hill and it's such a shame that they are a problem, but Hill and Pittman are the only real problem that I see there. And it would have been two of his more confident picks. So
Well,
it's a
Hill would have been his first pick, no doubt. Pittman maybe his second pick, maybe his third pick, third round pick.
maybe third or fourth
Yeah,
even. But yeah, Hill would definitely have been first round for sure. Had to be.
yeah.
But yeah, he's off. Listen, defending champions, you never rule out defending champions. When you've got that taste, you want it again. So one and two, well in the hunt, and just needs a wee bit of production
Jack
from the
played
wide.
Lockett and Metcalf together.
Yeah,
He had
that's
12
a
points
bit
from
that
Lockett.
reeks of desperation. That does.
They had
Marv
Andrews, 0
Andrews,
points.
0.
Adams only got
Big
12
goose
points.
egg.
Ty Fairburn, no points.
Yeah,
Defence did well.
tough. But I mean, there are receivers there on the bench. He lost Cup was the thing.
Yeah. He had Wanda Robertson, he's getting a few targets as well. So,
Yeah,
Seattle Patriots getting off the mark. And the Reed Lasso 3-0, carrying on with our poor Graham gave his
yeah,
first
we'll
loss.
see
It was
the
still
three
pretty
nose.
close, only 12 points. Oh, yes. Oh, Hearts against Richardson. That's not a very good matchup.
Yeah, I mean Richardson is still one, but I mean it's and this is your Donald Duck. Sometimes 188 points is more than enough to win games, but it's also more than not. It's more than enough to lose games as well. And there's people who will see a lot more score points than that have won this week. So, but I mean, for me, that it's very much a Richardson problem. I am so scared for Anthony Richardson this season to the point where it is Flacco that they've got behind them, isn't it? Is it still Flacco they've got
No,
behind them?
they got rid of Flacco because obviously Flacco went to where did he go? He's not there anymore. They
If
let him
it's a
go in the
semi-com,
off season.
if it's a
I don't know.
semi-competent wide receiver that's sitting in behind him, then I'd be looking over my shoulder for this season. And I'm not saying that that's him. You finish him. That's not him finished.
Oh no, they have got
But he
Flacco. I
might
thought
just.
Flacco went away. They must have re-signed him.
Yeah, no, I thought they had Flacco there. I mean, the thing is, if they're not going, if they start, well, if they start winning, then he stays in, doesn't he? But how long do you give it? I wouldn't be surprised if they sat him for a few weeks just to let him get a breath because he has had a bad start and his accuracy has shown up. I mean, I called it. Remember, I did say in one of these pods, I said 17 games he has played since high school. That was all 17 games of football he has played since high school. So heading into this season, he was very, 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 very raw. And you can see how raw he is. He looks like he looks like he's a very good wide receiver. He's just very, very good quarterback, sorry, but he's just so raw that I wouldn't want to be sitting on him this year. And I'm sitting on him in a few dynasties, so it does worry me for those games.
Yeah, obviously you'll get more. Well, Graham did have Chase and McLaurin last night, so he must have been getting a bit excited with they were scoring points, but not enough to
I mean, the
catch
thing
up.
is,
Obviously, Trevor Sales got 12 points, but yeah, Connor did nothing. You lost Eckler
yeah,
earlier on. That was a loss 'cause he was doing well. Eckler,
or did
he left
Eckler
the
go out? I
game.
didn't even know that. I didn't even know
Mm,
that. But I mean, Kelsey's a worry as well. I mean, I've got Kelsey, and it's just like, oh, I'm coming into this season with two offensive players from what has been the best offense in the last 4 years in Pacheco and Kelsey, thinking that, I'm not one for doubling up on running back wide receiver. I don't do it, but with the Chiefs, you think you can get away with it, no bother. One of them's an I am, the other one's just.
done
Is he
nothing.
done? Do you think he's done?
Mm, no, I think he's just. He'll have his games. It's just got to pick the right one.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm,
I'm at the point where I'm ready to put him on the bench at this moment in time. I've got to say, I'm getting to the stage where I need to see it before I put him back in. But yeah, I mean, he's missing, lost Mixon late to injury, and not a bad one. So, I
yeah,
mean, I wouldn't be worried if I was Graham, and the Glasgow Eagles. The team is fine. It just lost to a team who scored more this week.
yeah. They both when they meet up again, it'll probably be a high scoring matchup between the pair of them.
No doubt, no
What's
doubt.
that?